Alex, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? What's your background? And what, if anything, does it have to do with open source?
Yeah, thank you. Nice to be here. I'm Alex Scammon, and I currently run a large and ungainly open source program office for G Research. And I'll talk more about that, I'm sure, at length in this podcast. But my background, just prior to working for G Research, was working at Rackspace, which has obvious connections to the Open Infra and OpenStack universes. And before that, I was at Yahoo. And before that, I was at a string of uh, weird startups building sometimes CRMs for used car dealerships and other unsavory kinds of things like that. But so I've had a journey of my own through the technosphere.
I wonder that you said that currently you're working close connection to open source, and you were mentioning, opening for communities and OpenStack. Can you do you remember what's your first memory of open source? Like, do you remember when you learned about it, how you get in touch with it?
I don't remember my learning about it. That might have been way, way back when I first heard about Linux from some way more into computers geek friend of mine. And I thought it was kind of odd and cute at the time. Years later, I think I was at Yahoo and we were using Selenium to do testing. And I wanted to make a contribution there and did, but I really didn't understand what it was all about, how to interact with the community. The community poo-pooed my suggestion. I was very upset, and I didn't come back to open source for a long time because of my first experience was sort of shameful from my perspective, and not the community was actually fine. It was just my ego was bruised. So that was my first experience.
Were they kind? Were they kind in their feedback, and you just took it poorly, or were they pretty blunt?
I think they were probably kind. They were probably saying like, why do you want to do this? Sort of like hinting like, you really don't understand what you're doing here, do you? But I think they were kind, but because that was probably true at the time, that I didn't understand what I was, the patch that I was making worked for me, but probably didn't work for everyone else. And it was short-sighted. And they were probably politely pointing that out. It's true. But at the time I didn't see it that way, and so I thought it was all a waste of time. And it was a couple of years before I came back to it and was like, oh, okay, I see how this all works now. Yeah, that was my first entry into it.